Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Jester cast. Today I have a Zerg versus Zerg game between a well-known top Korean pro, CellaWerra, who's very well known for his Zerg play. He is the top of the Korean. He today is in the top corner of Lost Temple. He is the red Zerg. His opponent today, a 1200 Diamond level player. His name is Cheps, and he is also going Zerg. He has a live stream on teamliquid.net, and as far as I can tell, Zerg is his main race. So, a nice high-level game lined up for today. This is the Lost Temple map, as previously noted, so we got some eyes in the middle. We're not really going to be too concerned about this eye, since, both players are in the 9 o'clock and the 12 o'clock position, and both are Zerg, which is it gives you a nice advantage this game because you have that overlord, and it is a 4-player map, so you can easily go scout out your neighboring position and just eliminate it off the map, unless of course you get lucky, and just decide, okay, so they're not there. But Cheps here is going to go with an early scout, so he's going to scout 2 positions at once. And again, that's kind of just a nice thing with Zerg. He even has it nice and hotkeyed right here to go to 2 different spots at once. But he is going to find CellaWerra nice and early, and it looks like CellaWerra is going with an early spawning pool at 7 production. And Cheps here, I think, is just immediately going to see that. Yep, there he goes. He sees that, no problem. CellaWerra not even knowing where Cheps is yet at the moment, but that will give him some nice early detection with a little nice comment there. I guess he knows him personally or something. But yeah, it is a Zerg versus Zerg. Now, typically Zerg versus Zerg kind of like to go from Zergling to Roaches to Baneling. Hopefully we're going to see a little bit different of that, maybe some Hydras or Mutas, but these are really high level players and really high level it is the Diamond League, and I don't know that they're very well known for deviation from what works. So we will have to see, but Cheps here has responded. I guess he has a little bit of a later spawning pool. It is at a 13 count, and he might have wanted to expand first, but when he saw CellaWerra putting down the spawning pool really quickly, he decided that he's going to need to retaliate against that. CellaWerra putting up gas, and like right now it's just low level kind of stuff. Let's take a quick look at army. That's not army, units. So for the harvester count, CellaWerra is a little behind. He did go for that early pool, and he is down by about 4 drones. So for the resources, there's a slight advantage here for Cheps, as he is getting a bit more minerals per minute than CellaWerra. It might come down to being something useful, maybe not, but we don't even have any Zerglings in the field. So we do have a queen come in though, however, for CellaWerra, but despite that early spawning pool, it does not look like CellaWerra is going to be capitalizing on that for a rush, which is kind of nice to see. Sometimes by now though, especially on Lost Temple, considering you only have this 1 choke point, a lot of people like to play on a 2 base game, because that there's no destructible rocks. It's only 1 entrance, unless, you got Reapers or some Blink from Protoss, neither of which are in this game. It's really easy just to set up and defend this choke. Neither player seems to be interested in that, as we do see Cheps, with 6 Zerglings already out on the field. We got some coming here from CellaWerra as well, up to 6 now with that queen, so, he should be fine. It does not look like Cheps interested in really rushing. I guess he kind of noticed, he had the disadvantage. He built his spawning pool later. I guess he was expecting a rush, but there is no rush coming. And throwing out these overlords, he already has 1 down here. This guy will be positioned hopefully in a nice spot where he will be able to see any incoming rushes. But that's 1 little dead Zergling. But he is going to get his scouting information and just kind of notice, well, we got the 6 Zerglings. I can match that. Shouldn't be too worried. There's nothing being built behind CellaWerra, so there's no hidden buildings or anything. You got to build on the creep. That is what you got to do as a Zerg, and so nothing's hidden, no cheese, it's all good. 2 overlords saying what up to each other as they're going to pass, and now we're going to notice some Zerglings coming down. So Cheps does look like he wants to expand. He does have an expansion module coming his way, but that overlord, as I said, should be perfectly positioned to see any kind of rush coming down, which he sees right now. So no expansion for Cheps. He is going to wisely put that away, but he does have his Roach Warren up and 5 roaches on the way, as opposed to CellaWerra, who's just kind of just sitting here on his money and on his Zerglings. So maybe going to go for an expansion. The best time to expand is, of course, when you're attacking your opponent, because they're going to be busy fending themselves off, not even thinking of a counter. And usually by the time they can recover from any of that, you should have an expansion ready to go. But again, not going to be seeing that. CellaWerra, more, I guess he's hurting for his resources, going to be spending all that money on drones. He does kind of have the resource advantage, which is a little bit of a flip that we just saw. 29 drones is the count here for Cheps, and his Overlord, it looks like, just went down looking at that food count, and that queen looks like she just decimated that Overlord. Nice little advantage to CellaWerra there. There we go, unit. So we do have a very roach heavy army coming up here to say hello to the red Zerg, and this queen is just so slow without creep, but that's why creep tumors were introduced to this game. So we're gonna have to see how CellaWerra wants to go with this. He does have the speed advantage for those lings. He does have that speed boost, but these roaches are ranged, and acid, especially against biological. Actually, they don't do any bonus against biological. It's just acid, biological. I just always assume they did. I mean, you're melting things. That's just my opinion. But CellaWerra is going to go with a spine crawler for defense, and I'm pretty sure Cheps sees that. But these roaches are so slow. I mean, he's building them as fast as he can, but they're going to just come up here in pairs and triples, and I mean, just against speedlings. I mean, speedlings can easily get this around, get off the harassers. Another queen coming down the line. Yep, for CellaWerra, and I mean, it's just going to be lings, roaches, lings and queens with a spine crawler versus roaches. So we're going to have to see how each player wants to respond to this. But what is Cheps going to be doing? He can attack that pool from that range. That spine crawler is just a little too far back to make use of anything there. So I guess Cheps has realized this, knows exactly what the range is. Oops, a little too close there. And now if you can take out this spawning pool, that will just crank down the production of queens and lings, and that will give him a great production advantage, especially since both of them are on one Zerg. Oh, there's the speedling harass to the surround, so taking out these roaches. I mean, as I said, roaches are just big and slow. These speedlings, especially with the range support from the queen, are just not going to be, these roaches are just not going to be standing up to that as they go down. No problem here. And even, a little bit of reinforcement here. Another 5 roaches coming down the line. And, I mean, right now it's just so far not working out for Cheps, like assaulting this red base, and we got 2 spine crawler defense up now, and I can only assume CellaWerra is going to bring that over to a closer position to give some protection to that spawning pool. But all this time Cheps is attacking up here. What's he doing? He is researching metabolic boost himself for those Zerglings, so that he can at least match the speed on the creep. These creep tumors, on Zerg versus Zerg, work both ways. They give you speed, but they also give your enemy speed. So creep is totally neutral in that regard, does not play favorites. And this pool, I mean, 100 hit points, I mean, it could go down so quickly. In comes the reinforcements from Cheps. A lot of these little lings wants to get a nice surround off on that queen, and this is just really going to be hurting CellaWerra. Without that queen producing all those extra larvae, that is an advantage to Cheps, but Cheps has to traverse this entire map to get up here. So at least the Zerglings are going to be taking that fight, and now hopefully they're going to be taking out this spawning pool. 40, 30, 20, 10, and down it goes just in time. There's a queen being I guess birthed. It says cancel birth queen. And so, I mean, that